I wish they would do the overall 212 and the open guys and the smaller regional shows. Well, why not?
Some people are like, if you're 212 Olympia champion, you cannot call yourself Mr. Olympia because there is one Mr. Olympia, right?
Yeah,
so,
it's the title.
But they don't have a chance to compete, and why not?
It puts a slight on that title if a guy that's not even in that division comes in and takes away this guy's food.
On today's episode of AMA Podcast with Chris and Milos, we had Kerrith Bajjo on there, 212 New York Pro champion. As much as he walked away with an easy win, in my opinion, there's certain aspects to his physique that he wasn't completely happy with. And we're in a debate if that was really a matter of timing of the photographer, the lighting, or posing, etc. But he does plan to bring an even better package to Olympia. And we got in a huge debate on if the 212 winners and the open winners should have an overall pose down and be an overall winner of that show. Since we have that at the amateur level, we tend not to have that at the pro level. Overall, it was a great podcast. We covered a whole variety of topics. We definitely plan on having Kerrith back on again a few weeks out to give us an update. Comment below, subscribe, and check out drinkmore.com, your water enhancer with a mineral component that incentivizes that overall hydration in the day. I will see you guys next time. Kerrith, right now in Texas, it's 98 degrees. With a humidity of 32%.
That's like everlasting swamp. That's everlasting swamp ass.
No, it's not. I can walk 20 minutes outside and I'm totally fine, man. Totally fine.
Dude, I start sweating profusely at 60 degrees.
Well, we got to also consider, how much do you weigh right now?
I'm 223. No, it doesn't matter how much I weigh. I'm just a sweater.
Really?
Yeah, I sweat profusely.
You don't sweat less when you're like 2 weeks out?
Yeah, I mean, of course, but I mean, that's different. But it's not hyperhidrosis. I'm just super sweaty. Like,
but not on 60 degrees. Come on, 60 degrees freezing.
No, I like 60. 60, my body works really well. It works even better in the heat, but I still sweat even more.
But certain guys, how the body's adaptive mechanism works. My mom, in Serbia, she never wanted to turn the heat on at winter time, to save them electric bill, right?
Oh yeah.
And she used to, it's like freezing cold. Anybody that comes to their house is like fucking freezing, right? It's not cold. What do you mean? And it's like she adopted. She loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, those people, they always live super long, dude. Like people that adapt to the weather.
Well, listen, tell me this, Milos, and this is a question for you too, Kerrith. Milos, you used to live ever in a colder climate, and then when you went to a warmer climate, I'm sure at first it was not desirable, but then you adapt to it, like you said. Like me, coming from Connecticut, coming to Texas, at first it was a little tough, but now I can walk around with jeans and a shirt at 100 degrees and I'm fine. But Kerrith, have you ever lived in a hot climate for a long duration of time?
Yeah. So originally, I should be adapted to this by nature because I was born in Jamaica. I came here when I was like 4 years old. So it should be in my DNA. I hate the heat. Like, dude, it's miserable.
I love the heat. Milos, I love the heat.
It feels good on the joints. Like today, my body is moving optimally. Yes. I wouldn't trade that for the world. But if I could take the intensity of the sun away, that would be perfect.
I tell you said I was in cold and then adapted to the heat. I went to San Diego. I swear, 87 to 20 years later, 2 out of 365 days would be less than ideal. Right now, program God is programming the earth and one most ideal climate. It's sunny, warm, just perfect. It was never too hot. There was nothing. So I loved it. Mind you, I was in Serbia. So
what kind of weather they have there?
It's 4 seasons. And winters are really cold and summers are super hot, stuff like that. But then you live basically for 2 weeks for a summer that you're going to go to Adriatic Sea, and have like summer vacation. That's all you live for. So when I was coming to San Diego, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, there's all these beaches, all this perfect weather, and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be on the beach every single day. But you come in here, and I had to work from 10 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and then I had to train before and after, right? So I was in the gym from like 5 in the morning until midnight. So the last thing that you think about going to the beach, I swear to God, I've been on the beach maybe 5 times on my own, other than my photo shoots. Photo shoots, if it's not for photo shoots, I probably wouldn't even see the beach.
I hear you on that. I've been telling myself I'm gonna go swimming for the past 5 years. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened once. Every vacation, every show we go to, I'm like, all right, this time I'm really using the hotel pool. And I always have my swim trunks. They never get out of the suitcase.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the beach either. It's the idea that sounds cool, but like when I go to the Caribbean, I'm never like at the beach. I like to be near the beach, maybe like by the patio where the grill is. But that's it.
Besides everything, I'm terrified of sharks. I'm telling you, man. I wouldn't go into the river. But when I jump in the pool, I think there's some way that the shark is going to make it there.
Did you guys hear what's happening in Long Island here? Like past 2 weeks, 5 people have gotten bitten.
Nah.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy.
By what kind of shark?
All the fish are coming in towards land because the water's warmer now, and they're searching for food. That's where the food goes, into the warmer water. So the sharks are coming in with them. Yeah. Jaws all over again, man.
So like great whites, like what kind of sharks?
Nah, he's like sand sharks, but who the hell wants to get bit by a shark? Doesn't matter what kind of shark it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that.
I was watching a Joe Rogan show a few years ago when he was talking how somewhere in the mid-US, like Iowa or something, in some lakes, they made it to the lakes. Like how in the hell can a shark make it? They did make it. I said, look, that would be exactly me. First time I'm a tourist over there. Oh, there is a lake. There is no chance. Jump in. Here it is. I swear.
Right. It'll probably be landlocked too. A landlocked lake, no river access, and then bam, there's the shark.
There you go.
Oh,
Megalodon is going to be in the lake.
Megalodon.
Yeah, it's coming up. But Kerrith, I didn't really have a chance to talk to you. I just sent you some of the text. I was beyond impressed and amazed with you going into the show. I mean, I had a Korean guy, the mass, right? Going to the show, and he was like constantly looking at you. I was like, I told him, like, listen, if you can beat Kerrith, you can win Mr. Olympia. I mean, this is how far it goes. For me, you have every sign needed, for that you're going to be in a top 3 fight with.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, look. Okay, so I know that you're shy. You don't want to talk about it and glorify yourself. You have a structure wider than the champion, Sean Clarida, right? And therefore, this is not possible to hide in many poses. All the frontal poses. Front relax, front lat spread, back lat spread, stuff like that. This is just frame is there, and you fill up with a granite muscle like he has.
Yeah.
Going into the this show, I mean, I know that you can improve even from New York to the Olympia, and that's your calling, right? Calderon is dangerous, and Keon Pearson is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And this is Calderon, Keon, yourself, and Sean Clarida. I see there's going to be like battle for ages. So
I see a lot of people posting that mashup, and I can't say I think any different. I would love it if it was that first call out right there. I think it would be probably, like you said, one of the best call outs in the 212 history.
Yeah. And look, I mean, so with all the respect to Sean, right? When Sean was going into the Arnold Classic, they were talking he's going to win Arnold Classic because, per square inch and all that stuff, dynamite, rock hard, not missing anything, So there was narrative about him winning. I say, hold on a second, his 120 pounds lighter than a few of those guys. And, and then when you put him on a stage and when you project, you could see it. But what can you see? That narrow shoulders, right? So
right.
you and Keon, can dominate him there, right? You can come in close to his condition or the same, because I've seen you a couple of times. That's the only thing that I would tell you. Come in a rock granite shape. Practice. I was super impressed with your abs. I mean, some of the pictures that you were doing the ab shot, and even most musculars and stuff with the completely glued six-pack.
It started to come together this year. That was something I've been working on, and it's only gotten better since New York. I was actually disappointed in my core presentation in New York because it was so much better going into the show. But, we still managed to put together enough to walk away with the victory. So that was kind of cool that happened, even though what I projected to happen didn't go quite as planned,
Well, first off, for people who are listening, Kerrith just won New York Pro in the 212. And it was definitely a smashing win, and he's re-qualified again for Olympia, so we'll get that out of the way. And third time. So when you say, so when you say your midsection was tighter or better in comparison to your view leading up to it, and it wasn't day of, are you talking about something that's wrong as far as carb up, or is it you're posing in your presentation?
Well, I think it could have been something that we did, but I hate to attribute it just to that. But it's water under the bridge now, and we pulled out a win. But could we have been better? Absolutely, and that's always the case. You know how it goes, Chris.
Yeah, of course.
No, for sure. But when I was watching a live stream, everybody was looking kind of offish. So I'm thinking. It's probably a live stream, because I've seen that when I see a bad live stream, and then I've seen the high definition, like, now it's a different story. Jay Cutler, manager Matt, told me at Arnold Classic UK, that wait until you see the real footage. Just like, come on, how different it's going to be. And then I'm looking and say, oh shit. So going into the show, you were spectacular, like 4 weeks out and 3 weeks out. And particularly fullness and hardness, and a super flat, deep stomach with a chiseled, flat abs that was just symmetrically perfect. And I watch guys when they go into the pose, when they suffer going in, and then they just do it at the end. That's when they appear. For you, they appear long ago and they stay there, and then they get tighter, and this is how it's supposed to be done, right?
Well, I give you credit for this, because you reminded me it's first one in, last one out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I take those little gems that you dropped on me, and I try to apply them, man. You guys that have been there before have given me nothing but good advice, so I just put it to use. No sense in reinventing the wheel when it's already laid out for you.
Yeah. So you have a 20 weeks?
No, less now. We're damn. What's today? Today's Wednesday?
Yeah.
We're almost 16 weeks. 16 weeks. We're close to 16 weeks now.
Yeah. So you are cruising at 223, right?
Yeah. Feels great. Feels great.
Yeah. What do you think you need to improve to be considered okay, this guy is too good to be beaten?
In my opinion, it's conditioning. I know Chris loves that. It's all about conditioning right now. It's refining everything that we have, because I think we put on quality muscle since New York, and definitely quality muscle since last Olympia. So we're constantly improving. I'm not going crazy with the weight right now. So it's just about getting to that granite, that nasty, super grainy, super dry, just everything dug out. If we can get to, that dug out look, I think, you're talking about somebody who could challenge Sean.
You definitely will. I mean, seriously.
I had a client compete at New York Pro, Anthony Dell. I think I don't
Yeah.
know if you met him, and he
Yeah.
goes up to you and he goes, "Bro, how did you make weight?" And you go, "Dude, I'm under the weight cap."
Everybody always assumes so much, you know. I really, because the whole body dysmorphia thing, you don't really look any different from when you started in your head, you know. You see it in pictures and stuff, but I don't see myself looking like a big guy.
But you have those muscle bellies that make it look like being very heavy. You know what I mean?
Right. But I go down to Bev's and I see guys like Max, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, you know, like leave some room for the rest of us. You know, those are guys to me. So I don't see it on myself, but it's flattering when other people see it. But yeah, no, making weight, never been an issue. I don't think it ever will be.
That's awesome.
What were you in New York?
202.
Okay.
That gives a lot of room to play with, especially when you have to do weigh in at nighttime. You don't have to make all these crazy, stupid manipulations to make weight at night and then have to fill out throughout the day. I mean, the night into the next day.
On that note, like you don't need it, you know, really. If that's what is 202, Sean is what 180, right?
On stage. He's about 202 right now, I think. You know, but I think this year's Olympia, I should come in probably around 206, 207, because that rebound that I had from New York till now,
they look good. Yeah.
Things done changed, man. And I like the narrative of what's happened this past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know, not
okay, so you didn't say still, besides the conditioning, body parts. If you can put something somewhere, where would it be?
I suppose my back could be tighter, lower back could be tighter, you know, but we already solved that. So, you know, come November 2nd, we're just counting the days now.
He's politically correct. He doesn't want to relieve his weaknesses. I would say for me, I needed biceps, I needed triceps, I needed delts, I needed back. Yeah.
Everything could always be better, right?
Yeah. I always go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's funny sometimes how what we as individuals think we need to work on is not what we need to work on. Like I've had people be like, Chris, what do you think of my physique? I'm like, that's pretty balanced. I would think maybe you need to get just a little more chest, a little more here. And he'd be like, well, what about this area right here? I feel like this needs to fill out more. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even notice that, nor does that make any difference. He's like, really? You don't think right here needs to be a little better? And I'm like, dude, stop paying attention to the smallest things because, you know,
if I hold it in the right light, you could see it. It's so clear.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, don't even worry about that. But I wanted to go back to what you're saying about the midsection. And this is something that I always have to drill with my clients. And Milos, you probably do too, is everybody neglects training their midsection. I would say vast majority of people do. And I'm always like, man, you're getting bigger, but your stomach's getting bigger. You got to have more core control. You got to spend the time doing the abs. When's the last time you trained abs? Like 6 months ago. And then now I feel like
a lie. And that was a lie.
Yeah, that was a lie. But I feel like now it's starting to catch on more. I mean, did you spend more time doing like vacuums, core exercises, crunches?
1,000% yes. 1,000% yes. And I've even actually doubled down more on my core training and just core awareness. Like I find a way for me to stay honest about it is to drill it into my client's head. So when I say it to them, I'm also hearing it. So it lets me know, hey, listen, I'm telling them to do it. I got to be accountable too. So, you know, I have a few clients that have dystasis, and now we're working on some movements to correct that, strengthen their core. And I'm like, you know, hey, if I'm telling you to do this, I got to do it. I got to show proof of concept. You know, so they look at my pictures.
Explain core awareness. You said core awareness.
Right. So whether you're wearing a belt or you choose not to support your core when you're training, you just have to stay conscious. It's that mind-muscle connection. I like to tell people anytime you get into a movement, set it up from the floor consciously and work your way up. So, you know, you engage everything before you move the weight. But among planting your feet is making sure that your core is stabilized and you lock in before you move anything. You know, and if possible, this is another thing, a pro tip, if you want to call it that. I like to vacuum when I do an exercise now. So I think that's pretty much what's catapulted me being able to vacuum on contact.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing a bench press or anything, I'm definitely going to vacuum as deep as possible.
Right. Versus the contrary, you see guys doing a bicep curl and their gut is hanging over their belt.
Yeah.
They have no control, or they come down to a hack squat and their belly's like spilling out everywhere. It's like, I understand abdominal pressure sometimes in heavy lifts, but come on, man. Like there's got to be a level, like you said, of core awareness. And that's something that many people don't talk about or understand. And like you said, you drill it in and you have it and you're conscious of it. It becomes like something that you automatically do without thinking.
I'm doing it now in a chair.
Yeah.
I swear to God. I mean, and I didn't do the vacuum like carriage. That's interesting. Yeah. But I would insist for all the guys, right, when they come, keep your stomach tight, and it doesn't matter. Biceps curls, like you said, like do the vacuum. I do remember Gustavo Badell, for example, phenomenal bodybuilder, right? And when he keep coming to my gym, I see him train, just like I said, and lets everything go. I said, Gustavo, if you do this here right now, you're going to do it. And I say, oh, no, I'm going to be perfect on the stage. I said, no, listen, every time you go to the car, you drive the car, stomach is in. You sit down, you walk, you do anything that you just glue it to the spine and keep it there. Seriously, and it's interesting. Many of the guys, including Melvin Anthony, he told me like a couple of months ago, like, damn, I'm still getting into the car. As soon as I get in the car and putting the seat belts, like, damn, Milos, I'm going to keep my stomach in. But I tell you, if you don't, gravity is going to take it, and
gravity always wins.
Yeah, it wins, and it's going to look bad. I mean, seriously, your abs were one of the best abs actually I've seen in recent years. In all those pictures going into the show, I didn't really pay attention if you lost it at the stage. I didn't.
Well, it could be photography. I'd like to throw that caveat out there. It could have been that's when they captured that look. Huh? But that's what I got to see from it. It didn't really. Everybody tells me I was good. Everything was perfect on stage, but those are the pictures that I saw. So that's my reality.
That was off the chart good. And then, like I said, yeah, you dominated the show. There was no comparison, but it seemed like maybe tad off comparing to that. But then again, it could be camera and all this stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes the timing can make you look a certain way,
Yeah, that's
hey, listen, sometimes you get caught breathing, and then all of a sudden now, he's got bubble gut. No, the guy was just breathing.
Yeah, 100%. I got nailed on that the other day doing a posing thing. They're like, oh, you got Palumboism. What?
Yeah,
I'm just standing there. Jesus. Anyway. No,
somebody told you have a Palumboism?
Yeah, because
that's the funny shit I've heard.
In the video, I'm just standing there relaxed, talking, and like, dude, I didn't even comment. It's just ridiculous. But it's deceiving sometimes, like when you have to go by the professional pictures, because honestly, like, nothing that knocks against a lot of professional photographers, but there's a lot of them that zoom in too much. They use too much flash. And that just washes out the cuts. And then you look at like video footage from someone's phone and you're like, this dude fucking peeled out of his mind, granite hard. And you're like, how's my iPhone capturing the more realism of what I see on stage than that $10,000 camera? You know what I mean? It's like,
I got to shout out Mitchell Gilco. Dude, what he's done with his camera and presentation for athletes is freaking phenomenal, dude.
That means he gets it. He gets it.
Yeah, but I mean, just, dude, he gets the lighting right every single friggin' time. It's just like that video that he did of my compulsory round or whatever. He made me a friggin' legend with that one. Or at least a legend to myself. Because I've never seen myself present anything that good. And he just nailed every angle. The light was perfect. It was like all the planets aligned when he made that video.
Don't you love that? When it's better than you expected. Like,
Yeah.
holy
Oh God. Well, everybody was telling me after prejudging, they're like, yo, you got to see this video that's out there. And I'm like, somebody get me a phone already. Like, I'm hearing it from this person, this person. Like, you got to see it. So I had to wait like a half hour before I got to watch this video. And I was just blown away by it. But we need more of that and less just, let me take a picture because I have a camera.
Yeah.
No offense to any photographers out there.
No, I agree. And I think too, and no offense to the photographers, you know what you know. So if you're being hired to do a fitness shoot, you might not see what you and I see, what we all see when we're looking at a competitor, being like, oh, this is good lighting. They look at it and be like, no, I have to zoom in to get the whole image. No. You zoom in too far. And then eventually you're going to wash out everything. You're not going to be able to see it. It's kind of like when you're standing in front of the mirror, if you stand 6 inches from the mirror, you can't see shit. You know what I mean? Right. But if you back up a bit more, you can get more lighting on the lines of your body and have a better overall view,
Speaking of that, I mean, you guys came a little bit after the magazines, right? But my gym was official gym for Flex Magazine's photo shoots for 6 years. Chris Land was shooting everybody, right? And Chris was master of lights, like you said. Jesus Christ. I mean, he make you look like so good. But the first time ever, I was in Joe Wheeler's studio, and it was Rich Gaspari, and that was like 91, 92. And I'll never forget that. Gaspari, that you see, of course, on the stage, ripped beyond belief, right? Like striations everywhere, right? So now it was like maybe a couple of months after the show, so he's not really in shape. And I'm talking to him, off the set. And then like he's going to take a picture, like, oh, he's going to look so bad because, you look at him like, you know what I mean? What you look like on season and off season. Like this is like, oh man, I feel so bad for him. But I'm there in the corner and it says exactly step by step by step. By the time he stepped in the middle where the lights are, he was almost a contest ready. Like, Jesus Christ. So just knowing all the lights, some from back, some, to put the emphasis on intercostal serratus, and I've been there. I know that I was a few times far from a contest shape, and that made me look like I'm in shape. That's a good photographer with good lights. So now I was thinking, why are not Mr. Olympia's done with the lights like that? I mean, you guys just heard about Ironman lights. I swear to God, Ironman back in the day.
The uplighting, right?
Yeah, but just imagine now that this is a standard for every bodybuilding show. So you know that lights are not going to make you look bad. It's actually going to make you look even better than you are.
Right.
That's the way it should be. And I don't know how to do it, but if some people did it before, hire them, and learn.
All I gotta say is I've said this 1,000 times. Teaneck, New Jersey Marriott, for whatever reason, they get it right. That stage, maybe because it's black with a black backdrop and they don't use the screens, but that stage hits every single time. Even in the amateur shows.
Backdrop's key.
Yeah. I think it's got to be a dark backdrop, with less distractions. The screens are cool, but man, those things make you sweat your ass off. Those things make you sweat hard.
You're right. It does. It's distracting. There was a show here locally that had like animation in the back, and it had comic book characters everywhere, and it was like kind of purple and blue, and it was very, very distracting. For sure.
Yeah, if a athlete is wearing the same color as the background, now you're losing from their physique. Everything's going to look washed out.
Yeah. Milos, back in the day, black was worn for prejudging, right?
Yeah, the posing trunks. Yeah. I mean, even my athlete, Gabe, he was just doing a masters. He plays second over there, and he was like, "Oh, red or black?" I said, "Look, we always did black for prejudging, red for finals." But I said, like, forget about it. A red looks so much better on you. Just wear the red. And he wore it. But I do want to say this also. You can see his picture I posted on my Instagram. This is the first guy in a long time that actually did 0 carbs all the way to the stage. All the way to the stage. Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting. This guy is like, I've never seen anything like it. Super sensitive. It doesn't matter if you give him a little bit or medium or high carbs, right?
Yeah.
As soon as he touches the carbs, like, oh shit, I really see it. Like, oh man, it's okay. Let's just 4 weeks out. 4 weeks out, he came in here. It's okay. Let me put it this way: forget about the carbs. Maybe we introduce them again, closer to the show. And then I'm looking at him Monday, looks perfect. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? And guy is like this, that's structured, full shoulders, full arms, right? Doesn't have a very good chest. So you would think, okay, cars would maybe fill up his chest, but then I tested a few times, and chest don't get that much fuller anyway. So to risk to gain a little bit here and lose all the sharpness elsewhere, I said, forget about it. So this is I do want to, because you guys also coaches and train people. This is the first guy I did in a long time, 0 carbs all the way to the stage, and look at this. He was in excellent condition.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Stayed full and everything?
Stay full, everything. I mean, I gave him fish, peanut butter, some oils, right? And he didn't eat it. And this is how it is. Wow. I didn't drop his calories too low. I just didn't let him touch the carbs. So eat fish and peanut butter, fish and peanut butter. Back in the day, there was a steak and peanut butter, right? But I said, okay, let me get him on fish, egg whites, and then seriously. So there's something to consider, right? If you pure protein, if you don't touch the carbs, you pretty much don't retain water. That's awesome. You see how many guys, you're watching them, you give them a shitload of salt, and they're like carb depleting or just 0 carbs for a while. And they come in the gym day in, day out, they're dry. All right. So it's okay. Let's just bump up a little bit more fats, and that's it.
I was going to ask you that, Milo. So you did increase calories with fats at the end?
Yeah.
And then did you even bother cutting water really much?
I don't know which day he competed. The night before the show. That's it. Okay. So drinking all the way, and then night before the show, and then typical 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 diazide. Yeah. And that was, maybe we need it, maybe we don't. Okay, you know what? Okay, do it. It's one of those things. It doesn't really need it, but okay, could I be drier? And then
could I be drier?
Yeah, could I be drier? And then why didn't I get drier? I said, okay, shit. And this is how it all went sideways. I can still be dry. And I have many guys that if I would say something, and I know they're going to do more anyway. I had one extreme guy that was just like, listen, I gave him 1 Bumex, okay? And I look at him and said, you didn't take 1. How many did you take? Oh, what do you mean? I said, how many did you take? Okay, 3. But then, I took 3 more in the morning.
More is more.
Yeah. And the guy looked like so bad. I said, like, listen, right now, drink as much water as you can possibly drink, right? Fucking now, morning of the show. But those are kind of things. I was there when Mohammed Ben Aziz died due to diuretics, as you guys know, right? 92, I've seen Porter Cottrell, if you remember, Steve Brisbois, the Thierry Pastel. They quit bodybuilding basically after that. Because we were on that tour, right? And we see what happened, right? And it's just from there, okay, I can take more. So if you do 2, I'm going to take 3. I'm going to be even drier. And that's the danger that I talk about, right? Yeah. So if you would It's great, and I know, Chris, you appreciate that the crazy conditioning, and here comes that dryness. So when you're dry already, this is nice, but could I be drier? And then if your answer is yes, yes, you can be drier, and then here goes. I'm going to do a little bit more.
Oh man, I diuretics.
Yeah, you're against them.
I like if someone's 7 days out and they look fantastic, and I'm like, do I really need to load them with diuretics? No, maybe just a crumble or nothing at all. But like so many times, just like Milos, I'm sure you more experienced in the matter and probably have a different protocol than I do. But how many times do you get somebody and you're like, you see them Friday morning, they're excellent, and like they could be drier, and then you do it. And then Saturday morning, they are drier, but they don't have that wow. You know what I mean? Like they lost, they took a little bit out of their pop and craziness for like a few more percent dryness in the glutes and the hams. And, it's not like the judge is going to be like, ooh, that 3% dryness in the hams and the lower back and the glutes really brought out everything. It's kind of like, yeah, but he lost a little bit more off every pose. So the overall average wasn't a net gain,
Yeah.
But here, okay. Let's put this in a real situation. So, Chris, your guy is competing Saturday morning, Friday, midday. Think, oh yeah, he's not dry enough, right? He's not dry enough. And then you already maybe if your way is to slowly cut the water, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, stuff like that, right? But he's still not drying out enough, and that's when it comes like, oh, should I take a little bit more diuretics, right? And then you take, and I've seen this. I've seen people that would take 3 diazides and doesn't do shit, and you see the 1/2 of a diazide and does too much.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, but yeah. As we keep calling for a drier, it's like just normal human nature. It's like, oh, I'm not dry. I'm not going to tell the coach. I'm going to take it anyway. Yeah. I have all those confessions like so many times.
I've seen somebody. We know this person, Kerrith. He took a half of a hydrochlorothiazide, 12.5 milligrams. The dude lost 8 pounds of fluid overnight.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I've seen some crazy stuff recently.
And I was like, let me see that bottle. I'm like, let me see that bottle. Is that really hydrochlorothiazide?
Yeah, because that's
I'm not going to get into specifics, but I've seen some astronomical stuff within the past couple of years. One of the guys I know, I kid you not, it had to be like 17 pounds overnight.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Friggin' just complete different physique in the morning. Mind blowing.
As in a good way or not a good way?
Well, in a very good way. They went on to do really well. I'll just say that. But it was mind blowing to watch the change happen, and the way they loaded the food, like you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But I saw with my own eyes, and it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen a human being do.
So was it like a shit loading, like eat as much as you possibly can?
Pretty much, yeah. It just worked. It worked, and I don't think it could ever be duplicated. But it worked for that instance. Yeah.
I mean, that was quite popular, even late 90s and then early 20s. It was called shit loading, right? So anything in sight, and then you top it off with the loop diuretics.
Yep.
That's exactly what it's called. So you're a nutritionist, Chris, and Kerrith, you're so experienced and everything. So when you tell them, okay, shitload, I mean, how can you say those words? Like, scientifically, this is going to do what? Okay, it's going to not inflame you whatsoever. It's going to give you all the specific nutrients that is going to load your glycogen level because you want to push the glycogen, right? So this is going to do it. And I know I had guys before that I would try to load up with the clean carbs. No, man. clean carbs don't work on me. I have to eat shit. And I would argue with them. I said, no.
It's a psychological dependency on it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you calculate how much carbs and fat and protein is in that shit food that you have, okay, now get better carbs and better fats, better proteins from clean food. So why would this shit food do more for you? But no. And like I said, right now, it works sometimes for somebody, and then it's really hard to not convince somebody else. Like, okay, like if you would be a newcomer and you've seen that happen, whoever that was, you're going to say like, shit, I want to try that.
Right? That looks fun.
Yeah. The best way to describe it would be like this. You could go crazy at a fighter who knows how to fight with a bunch of crazy haymakers, and maybe 1 out of 10 times you catch him in the jaw and you knock him out.
Yeah.
But the 9 out of the 10 times, that fighter's going to whoop your ass.
Exactly.
So it's just rolling the dice against odds that are not great.
No.
We all know people who have great genetics where, they're genetically lean to begin with, they're genetically dry to begin with, and then they kind of eat shit food, and then next day nothing happens at all. Those types of people could probably get away with doing some crazy shit, but not those sensitive, chubby people. You know what I mean?
I did only one time in the 99 Night of the Champions, and that was one of those things, right? I didn't even supposed to compete. So in the last minute I decided. And there was Paul Dillette, Dexter Jackson, Marcus Rule, there was Pavel Yablonitsky, there was a bunch of it. So you know what? I never did this. I'm going to do it. So I ate everything that I could possibly think of, and then I top it off with the 2 milligram Bumax, right? So first, my brain seemed like it was dehydrated, and it was glued also to my skull. I was like, I couldn't get up, but my stomach was like Buddha. I mean, first time there was some pictures that I just hope nobody's gonna ever find them and post. That my stomach was all over the place. When you're going into the side triceps, and the stomach is right. I could not suck in my stomach for the life of me.
I'm gonna find them right now.
No, I hope nobody ever finds it. Yeah. I destroyed all my archives from that show. Shit.
Right. Reach out to Jam. Jam's probably got them.
Kerrith, I wanted to ask you, post show, do you ever experience like a brief period of your body feeling a little more fragile than normal in the gym when you train? Like, do you ease back into training post show, or when you get out of the post show, you're like, dude, I feel just like as I was 4 weeks ago?
So I'll say this: ever since I shortened my training sessions post show, I've only gotten better. I used to try and go crazy because I used to hear stories of rebound. Oh, you're going to grow exponentially if you train like a savage. Dude, I started training no longer than 45 minutes the first 2 to 3 weeks after my show. And that's when I really started to reap the benefits of a rebound. So I just lift smarter now and shorter. I do my 3 or 4 sets per body part, and I grow with no inflammation, and I don't feel like shit because I don't eat shit anymore.
Yeah.
So 3-4 sets per body part, or per exercise per body part, and then 2
per
3
exercise per body part. Yeah.
And 2-3 exercises.
Yes. Let me clarify. Yes. So it'd be like, I don't know, like, let's say typical chest day, incline Smith, flat, maybe a modified flat. It'd be like a hammer strength flat. And, just some auxiliary stuff, some flies. That's all I got to do. So 3 or 4 sets per movement, and we're good. That's all we need to do.
And how about reps? Yeah, go ahead.
No? I try to keep it at 15, I try to keep it at 15, even keel, no hero weight.
2 days on, 1 off, or you do 3 days on, 1 off?
It depends. It depends. My schedule fluctuates, so sometimes I'm forced to, go 5 days.
Right.
But it is. I definitely try to take 2 rest days throughout the week, And if I can get in the gym and get a good little pump in, I'll sneak in there. If I can afford to take the next day off, I'll do it.
It's amazing to me how again and again we've all said this over and over again that Kerrith, you're training 15 reps, not 6 reps, not 4 reps. You're not training for 2 hours a day, 6-7 days a week. Yet still inquiry after inquiry of new clients who are competitors train 6-7 days a week, 2 hours each training session, 25 sets to failure, drop sets, intensifiers, cluster sets. I don't think I'm eating enough. I got to eat more food because I feel beat up. Maybe my gear is fake. I need to take more gear. Maybe you need to learn how to train.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I could say that as I age, and I hate using that word, but as I mature, let me say that.
I'm going to use that.
As I mature,
you mature,
you age. But as I mature, I can say that it's more direct now. Like I'm not just throwing shit at the wall. I just go for what sticks. Everything that was working going into the show, I go right back to it. I just treat the weight with respect. I'm not out here trying to break any records, that thing. And it's worked for the past 3 years. It's worked. I stay injury free and I grow. Every show I've done, I've grown.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I mean, you're improving dramatically. Yeah, so much thicker, fuller, and more conditioned. I mean, I had high hopes for you for the last year's Olympia, and you didn't deliver it. There was
it was flat. It was flat.
Yeah, so these kind of things, so that flawless physique. And I think probably judges penalize you because even though they say they don't judge by your previous, it's just what's on the stage.
Yeah.
I've seen you better and you didn't deliver and kind of,
Yeah. I mean, rightfully so. Listen, I know I could have been better. I think we all know I could have been better. And leading into the show, I was better. But, things happen that were out of our control and just got to take it. Got to take it on the chin.
Yeah.
I learned from it. I've gotten better since. So, it did something good.
Yeah. And how about now? I mean, are you training again 5 days on, 2 off?
Absolutely. Well, this week it's been 2 days on, 1 off, 2 days on. So tomorrow I might take off, I might not. Depends on how I feel. I have some flexibility because I create my own schedule.
I mean, I was always like this instinctively. I don't feel like a day off. Why would I take a day off? I mean, seriously, because it's expected. Your body needs. Really? I'm listening, but my body didn't tell me nothing. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really don't believe in that overtraining, especially as you said yourself, up to 15 reps. And Chris, you and I talk about this. I have here 3 Mike Manzer's and Arthur Jones books under this computer. I was going to pull out to show you. I appreciate the theory and I appreciate all that all out, that 1 rep that changes, go to the failure and all that stuff. But you tell me, if you truly honestly go to the failure, what is going to fail? What is going to fail? And there is a possibility maybe that your tendon and ligament also fail, right? And you know what that means. But, so if you're macho and we're going to go for it, right? And we 3 of us train, and right now we're going to try to outdo each other, right? Because that's just normal thing to do, right? If Kerrith would do 10 reps and I'm going, I'm going to, do 11 and then Chris is going to do 12 and shit like this. But this is how shit happens. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
It's all out. And Chris, you do a lot of reading and research and all that stuff that they say that you don't need to go to the failure. You don't need to do this 4, 5, 6 reps. You can go to 10, 12, 15 and still create the maximal hypertrophy. Yeah. Kerrith, you said you're maturing, not aging. How mature are you now?
I'm about 41 years mature.
40, okay. I mean,
no shit. You're older than me. I forgot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you this. It's not going to get to any. Right now, you have to be that extra super smart and not go for that let me just go for it.
The temptation is always there, and especially coming off of a show. That's why I talk about learning how to control yourself in that rebound phase, because the strength can be deceptive. The initial strength will be there, but you fail so much faster.
Yeah.
So you're susceptible to injury so much more than you would be, let's say, if you were in an off season. So it's learning to train smarter and know that, hey, shit, I got to do this again next week.
Next 10 years.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to lift this way, not as heavy, but I want to be able to lift this way when I'm 60, 65. Shit, if I could be one of those guys that's 70 years old with an 8-pack, that's the best win ever,
I agree. I was on a podcast the other day, Milos and Kerrith, and this is the question. Okay. Would you rather be the best at the world at your craft for 5 years, but then after that 5 years, you could never physically partake in that craft ever again because your body's completely destroyed? Or would you want to be guaranteed that you could continue to do your craft for the entire length of your life, injury-free?
No brainer,
Yeah. You're ready to.
Yeah.
Listen, nobody likes pain, man. If you like pain, something's wrong.
Right? So it's like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, shit, it'd be awesome to be the best motocross racers in the world for 5 years, but then not being able to ride dirt bikes for the remainder of my life, versus someone saying to me, I could ride dirt bikes like I was when I was 15 years old all the way until I'm 70. I'm taking that one.
Absolutely. Like if I could run with no injuries to my feet, geez. Seriously.
Look at the Orlando Pro winner, Phil Kahar, 50 years old, right?
He really 50?
I think he's 49. I said 50, but then
We'll give him
Yeah,
50.
that looks great for 49, man.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. But and I see many more years in him, And I'm telling you, Kerrith, I mean, your body is coming into like that immaturity that has everything just perfect. Another thing that I'm going to tell you, that you have a genetically predisposition extra hardness. You know how we all take certain things to get us a bit more androgenic and harder.
Yeah,
but
right.
some has no effect. I see this in you. I've seen you when you were competing, whatever. I saw you backstage. I forgot, Florida or somewhere.
Might have been Georgia, and Florida.
Florida, yeah. You have that, your skin and all these pictures. You have that extra hardness. Like Max Charles has that extra hardness. And I know it's not from too much gear because it's harder taking. But yeah,
Max is a freak of nature. That guy's huge. He's like the biggest thing walking around in the gym.
Isn't he like 2 meals a day too, or like 4 meals a day?
Yeah.
Mind blowing. He's not a big eater. Unless you're making him eat Milos. I don't know.
I was trying to, and everything and anything. And the only negotiations we had was, okay, if you can't eat it, then just drink the goddamn egg whites.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not much for drinking. I was just make them. I love egg whites. I mean, I was with Jake the other day. I was telling him I was eating 60 egg whites a day. I have on my journals 4 times 15, but I loved it. Right, pure protein, 0 fat, 0 carbs. Okay, how much better does it get? And it goes so easy. We say, I hate the egg whites. I said, can you drink it? Say, yeah, okay, then just drink it. I have it with many guys. Some of my guys. I'm pushing the calories, but they can't eat. Throw in a scoop of protein with each meal. So add up the protein. Shit. And it's been working lately. Okay, you can eat 300 grams, 12 ounces, because a lot of people say 12 ounces. Oh my God. I mean, that was pretty much norm back in the 90s. That's what.
Now, how many meals were you eating back then in the 90s?
Me, 8 total.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 6 and 2 drinks.
That's exactly eating every 2 hours through the whole day.
Man, I tell you, I was like this. It's just like the whole idea is all day I have to eat. And I was one of the smaller guys, you know what I mean? So if you're smaller guys, how you gonna, grow? You gotta eat. So I was showing all these journals. I was averaging 450 to 550 grams of protein every single day for 15 years.
Jesus Christ. You know what scares me about that? Your grocery bill.
Well, back then it was way cheaper.
Yeah,
true.
But I tell you this, somebody took me to the bar the other day. I said, I've never been to a bar. I mean, I've been accidentally in 3 bars in my life.
Accidentally.
One of those, you're going to
I totally get it.
So just keeping them company, okay. What am I going to do in the bar? I don't drink. So I don't drink, and I'm gonna go there into the dark place that half drunk, people are gonna, talk to me. I don't have nothing to talk. So I didn't spend the money on alcohol. I didn't spend money on stupid things. So my grocery bill, that's what it is. But it's another thing, because maybe some of your clients are not from countries that they have money. And I have this always, I'm poor. I was poor as shit, when I came in. I was making $700 a month, okay, working from 10 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and plus my personal training business back in late 80s, okay? But you could buy the 5 dozens of eggs at the Costco for $4, okay? And you can buy this big old tuna, not small tunas. I don't know if the
big can tuna.
Yeah, remember that one?
Yep.
So protein, okay. That's all it. Protein, tuna and egg whites, and then you throw in rice with it, right? I didn't bother much with vegetables, just like Ronnie Coleman. Are you eating vegetables? Hell no. Why bother? But I could sustain my 500 grams of protein a day with that, with so little money. Yeah.
There's will, there's a way. Kerrith, so you did one pro show this year, was New York Pro. You're qualified. You're going to hit Olympia.
Yes.
And then from there, you figure out the next steps, right?
Milos, you'll like this, and Chris, I think you'll appreciate this though. Regardless of how the Olympia turns out this year, goal is just let's eye an open show. So if we can do an open show and really just kind of flirt with the idea of doing a couple more, I think that would be an awesome year.
Between now and Olympia or after Olympia?
No. Post Olympia. Yeah, right now we're gonna ride it into the Olympia, and I think we're in such a good spot that the rebound effect coming off of that Olympia should look pretty freakish in an open lineup.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks after that, you've been eating, but you're still lean, still fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
If you did
Chris, my phone's dying.
Plug it in. Oh my God. He'll be back.
Speaking of that, what do you think if Kerrith went against Tonio for overall New York? Yeah, I mentioned this. I would like to see them next week.
He has a really good physique too. He's not the biggest open guy, so like it would be a good comparison to see them side by side. And how tall is he? 5'7"?
They used to compete. I think that Kerrith told me he beat Tonio before in 212. So it will be very interesting. They're both complete packages, aesthetically, put together, and they still have so much muscle mass and a structure and a width and a thickness. Yeah,
but he had a really good physique. Do you feel like the judging is changing a bit now?
You guys got me?
What up?
Yeah, I was saying about that you competed with Tonio before as a 212, right? And I think you told me you beat him before, right?
I got him at the Olympia in 2021.
Uh-huh. The thing is that you would be very super competitive. It could go either way. Then Chris was saying that Antonio has a beautiful shape structure. Yes, in good condition. Yeah. And who is taller?
Oh, he's got me. He's got me.
But not by a lot. He's not a tall guy.
No, but he's got to be 5'7", 5'8".
That's what I thought, 5'7".
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would be super competitive.
He's super wide.
Yeah.
Tonio is deceptively wide.
Yeah. So you want to test your open waters right after the Olympia. I think is great. Yeah.
Why the hell not? Like, honestly, like, what do I have to lose in that arena?
0. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they would do the overall 212 and then the open guys in the smaller regional shows. Well, why not?
Yeah. You know what? I was telling Milos thank you the other day because he was really pushing that narrative. And he was, talking to Steve on a couple of podcasts. I was paying attention. And, I would have thought that would have been like the coolest thing ever to be compared next to the open guy.
Absolutely.
After all,
you're supposed to do that,
Yeah, but you see how it is. Yeah, they made it the divisions. Okay,
yeah.
At the national level shows, you have a division, but then you have a overall, right? Winners of all the classes.
Right.
Mr. Olympia, by definition, is what? Best bodybuilder in the world. Okay, 212 is bodybuilder, just a different class. And 100%. After you win your 212, you should be allowed to compete as an open. So if you want to be a best bodybuilder, no, I agree because some people are like, okay, if you're 212 Olympia champion, you cannot call yourself Mr. Olympia because there is one Mr. Olympia, right?
Yeah,
so
it's the title.
I have this, but they don't have a chance to compete, and why not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, it does kind of it puts a slight on that title if a guy that's not even in that division comes in and takes away, this guy's food.
But just do it. But just do it to smaller shows. It doesn't have to be Olympia.
But hold on. If you guys listen to me, then maybe you know this fact. There was a six Mr. Olympias back in the day when they have a lightweight and heavyweight champion, and then they went for overall. Do you know that? Yeah.
Yeah.
How many? Okay, 6. How many times did lightweight won?
Once.
4 out of 6.
4 out of 6.
4 out of 6. Only
really?
Arnold. Yeah. The 4 out of 6. So it was Frank Zane and
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. But 4 out of 6 when you look at the history. And I don't know why they took this out. I was talking to who? Dennis James and Fouad the other day. I do remember exactly when it was 212 implemented originally. You could compete in a show as a 212, and then your choices next day was open. So like Flex Lewis was competing initially in a couple of shows. He did 212 and then went straight into the open next day, like 2008. So why not? I mean, right now in amateur shows, Chris, I'm sure you have some clients. They would enter like 3 different classes. They would do the classic and open, and then let's say masters. It's in the same weekend, okay? So 212, you guys have a day before Olympia, right? So you finish that one and you go straight into the Olympia. I'm all for it. I still don't think if Mr. Olympia asked them, what is Mr. Olympia? Best bodybuilder in the world. Okay. So it's 212 bodybuilder also bodybuilder? Yes. So then let him compete. Yeah. You see, Sean only plays 5th. Okay. He plays only 5th. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But he also won the pro show. Calderon won the pro show, right?
Yeah.
You can win the pro show, I'm sure. And give them a chance. You guys deserved it.
So when you present it like that, true, but hear me out, right? So if 212 has to compete in prejudging and a finals, then they have to compete in a prejudging and a finals. The open guy shouldn't have anything to worry about. This 212 guy should be gassed by the time he gets to the finals. So that's why they should allow it.
They should allow it. Listen, by all means, if you're backstage, listen, I could compete all day in all the classes. You know, I can come out on a bikini, you know, and then later to classic. Doesn't matter. You're there already. It's not like, oh, you just competed here in 212 and now you have to go on the stage again. So what? It's not like 10 rounds boxing or it's just like prejudging in Mr. Olympia. How hard is this? You're going to get the few comparisons. It's like, what, is this physically impossible?
No, of course not. I'm all for it.
You do get worked when they're putting you through the poses. Let's not kid ourselves. Sometimes it seems like, you know, they're trying to make somebody fade. And, you know, I think that is stressful enough to throw a person off for another round of doing the same thing.
Yeah, it is. But just like you said, you would want that opportunity. I know that every 212 winner would want that opportunity. I know that Flex Lewis wanted that opportunity back in the day. And he was
well, just think about this factor before we end. If your prejudging and night show is on Friday, and then the prejudging and the opens on Saturday, and you're 212 guy on Friday, you could do your whole show, eat a little bit more, drink a little bit more, fill out a little bit more for the next day, and have fun. And you might get a little energy boost. Or say if you missed your mark on Friday, you could be like, well, shit, I came in flat. I'm going to fix this for tomorrow and come in just a little bit over the weight gap or way over the weight gap and see how the cookie crumbles. I think it should be an option. I think that would be wonderful. That'd be very entertaining.
You know, Kevin English, you know, I know you guys are probably trying to go, but Kevin English told me a story when he used to compete at 202 and weigh-ins used to be like 3 days ahead.
Yeah.
So he would come in, he would make weight. And by the time the show came around, he was like 225.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's still 202, but damn, you know, you got open guys that are competing at 225 back then.
I've seen Kevin at the UFC show. What was it? I think Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I've seen him. It was a long time. He was great. He won the Olympia 1 year, right?
Yeah, I think the first 2 years, right? The first 2 years they had it at 202.
Yeah, that was 202, and then they switched to 212.
Yeah, I don't know if he won it at 212, but I think he did at 202.
Yeah, I don't even know which year that they switched from 202 to 212. Yeah.
Oh. Kerrith, where can people find you? I know we had you on before, but I want to, you know, dude, you're a good dude. I think more people need to hear your voice, know about what's going on in your life with training and everything about what's going on. So how can people find you? Who do you want to thank? Your sponsors and all that?
Hey, thank you. Well, first off, you can find me on Instagram. That's pretty much where I post all my content. Want to get more into podcasting, you know? So I'm talking to someone right now, and we're trying to put something together, specifically catered to the 212 bodybuilding division, because I don't think it gets enough time in the limelight. So look for that coming soon. You know, also you got my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get this thing to work, but you know, it's so much time, and with a full-time job,
It is.
You know, it really takes away from the quality that I want to put out there. But I will be doing more there, and that's KB Apex 26 on YouTube. Instagram, it's just Kerrith_Bajjo. You know, I want to say thank you to Redcon, of course. They always keep me supplemented up, and you know, they're always on my side, and you know, they're doing a lot of good things for bodybuilding by putting themselves on, you know, every single poster that's out there. You see Redcon, you know, affiliated with the show. So, you know, they're keeping bodybuilding alive. So
Good.
Thank you for that. And Rest When Dead Clothing. It's a small clothing company coming out of Canada. Thank you to them. Protan, Gym Pin. I feel like I'm at the Grammys right now.
Do you want to plug? Do you want to plug in my OnlyFans or no? I'm just kidding.
Listen, my mom might.
This is what I was talking about, the abs. Look at his abs.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
That's the exact same picture I was thinking of when my abs didn't look the way they were supposed to on stage.
Yeah, this doesn't get better than that. I mean, really.
So that was. I'll keep it honest. Kenny Wallach was the one that really reminded me how good my abs were. And he was like, Kerrith, you got to go back to, doing what you used to do. Boom. I started posing exactly like how he instructed me to when I first started bodybuilding, back when I first met Chris, actually. And, it clicked. Like my posing got better. My presentation got better. My physique got better because I was showing everything that I needed to show and none of what I didn't.
But okay, so now here's a perfect example. When I glance this at you, what is the first and most noticeable thing that you notice? It would be the abs.
100%.
I'll give you 2 seconds. Different. Thank God something else didn't pop out. But listen, this is how it is. If you have 3 seconds to glance on the stage and you see all the people, what is the first thing that you notice? Somebody with the crazy abs,
Correct. Someone's midsection.
Center of the body. And Kerrith, this picture that I just showed, it doesn't get any better than that. That's like most perfect abs. And as good as you are, right, and everything else, right? It's just like sticking to me like those are the best abs I've ever seen, right? So and now you get those best abs I've ever seen in every frontal pose, right? And you know how to bring it in the side poses as well. Side triceps is ab shot also, if you know how to do it, right? I mean, back in the day, I was doing the side chest. Any times when you can show your perfect abs like this, you have to.
Don't hide it. Don't hide it. You got to show them everything that they want to see, hide everything that they don't. But like you're talking about side chest shots, if you can show your serratus and your serratus is on point, show it. If not, hide that shit.
Yeah.
That's how it has to be. Like Robbie Robinson and Sean Ray back in the day, this fucking thing that was going on like all over the place. You can't miss it. Yeah. But those abs, whatever you were doing, what exercises were you doing?
Honestly, for that, I wanted to do more leg lifts. Believe it or not, I was just doing the ab crunch machine, the plate loaded one. So I'll just use that very lightweight. I don't like putting a lot of weight on my core, especially if it's anything to the sides. I don't put weight on my obliques. So just keep everything in the center. Keep it relatively light and just do high reps.
That's exactly.
Love it.
But you feel that stretch, right? When
Absolutely. So you always gotta, go back and go full range of motion.
Yeah. Exceptional.
It helps you pose better. That's the strongest attribute I could say from training abs. You pose so much better. Your confidence is that much better because the billboard. It's done to the nines.
If you notice, so many guys on stage they always cover the stomach or they touch the stomach.
Yeah,
right?
Before they transition into a pose.
I mean, it shouldn't be that way. It's like red flag right there. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right.
All right,
Kerrith. Thanks for coming on, man. Milos, I'll talk to you Wednesday, buddy.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hey, just wanted to say thank you to you guys because without you guys putting me out there, a lot of people don't know my name. So, Chris, Milos, thank you guys. I nothing but respect for you. So,
no problem, man.
And of course, before I forget, my wife tells me, like, doesn't Kerrith look like Johnny Jackson? He does.
From the traps. That's about it.
From the traps.
Even face. I'm serious. And I see exactly right now. There's exactly. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I guess it could be a worse comparison out there.
Come on. He's a great looking guy. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny's the man. Plus, he's a legendary bodybuilder.
Kerrith, we'll have you back on a few weeks out from Olympia if you're wanting to come on, if you're willing to come on.
Chris, you already know. We go
Crazy
back like 4
updates.
flats on Cadillac.
Yeah, we want updates.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, listen, abs will be on point, Milos. Trust me, I'm still listening. I'm breathing from the back. That's his thing. That's his thing.
It says it all. Yeah, you bring this on the stage, show can be over.
Awesome.
I'm telling you right now, that will, whatever we brought to New York, it's going to look sloppy comparing to what we do.
All right,
I'm excited to see that.
Good luck.
All right, guys.
All right.
Guys.
Take care.
All right, take it easy, guys.